Technique Tuesday.
Me and Ems are going to show you exactly how you can master the kettlebell swing. Now, it's a complicated movement that requires a lot of experience in the gym, and we need to earn the right to be able to do the kettlebell swing. We're going to show you 2 exercises that you can practice to ensure that you have the ability to then progress onto that kettlebell swing. The first exercise being a bird dog with our legs only. So what we want to demonstrate here is the ability to maintain tension and stability throughout the core. So what I've got Ems here is on hands and knees. As you can see, hands stacked below the shoulders, knees stacked below the hips. Now the goal of this exercise is to maintain this neutral spine. So naturally what you might find is your spine extends slightly. So what I'm going to ask Ems to do here is tuck the hips under and actually pull in those core muscles at the front. And now what we've got is some tension. We're going to challenge this position and we're going to challenge the stability of the core by driving one leg back at a time. Keeping that foot nice and low to the floor and pulling the toes towards the nose. Now, can Ems demonstrate stability here in order to hold there, really squeezing that leg on, that hamstring, that quad, that glute muscle, whilst maintaining that tension throughout the core. As you can see, the pole isn't going anywhere. Ems has got that ability to extend through the leg without sacrificing this shape through the core. And if we go that way, we can demonstrate that Ems can keep the hips level as she drives the foot back. So that's a really important exercise to be able to master before progressing on to the kettlebell swing. The second exercise that we must ensure that we can do before progressing on to the kettlebell swing is just your standard hip hinge. Okay, we need to be competent in moving through the hips whilst maintaining this lovely neutral spine position and a nice stiff leg, so we can kind of elicit some feedback through the hamstrings when we go through that hinge and then snap through. So all I've got here, Emily doing here, is just a standard hip hinge. So she's initiating the movement by driving the hips back, but she's using her core muscles and her upper back to ensure that spine stays dead neutral and then she's snapping back through. As you can see, Emily's got soft knees, not bent knees. Two things we'll typically see here is a rounding of the spine, so a loss of extension of the upper back, and then also we'll generally see people dropping into a squat here, so going into too much knee bend, which is going to result in us feeling less feedback in our hamstrings. So jump up to the top, Ems. We need to get really confident and really kind of specific when we go through that hip hinge. That needs to be bang, straight in, boom and boom. If we're going to then go into this more dynamic, explosive kettlebell swing move. All right, so the time has come. We're going to move on to the kettlebell swing. A really explosive movement that requires a bit of grace and a bit of violence all in one. Okay, so we're going to combine everything we've learned, how to engage the core, how to move through that hip hinge, and we're going to put it all together with some explosive movement now. So Em's going to grab the kettlebell. We're just going to start from the standard start here. Now, we're going to swing into that hip hinge whilst maintaining that nice neutral spine. Bam! And then Em's going to snap it back through. So, as you can see, Em's is moving through that hip hinge, maintaining this lovely shape through the spine, and she's being explosive. She's snapping her hip back through. There's no knee bend. She's not using her arms. The only thing the arms are doing is attaching Emily's body to the kettlebell. And she's snapping through with some intent. And she's really starting to feel the feedback through those hamstrings. There's no knee bend. This is excellent. Bosh! And that is how you do a kettlebell swing. Amazing. But just to ensure that we've got to earn the right to progress onto that. And that's what we do here in Tech 91. We take our clients on a journey. They start the basics and they earn the right to go through the progressions, and eventually they get to doing fun, playful exercises like that on a kettlebell.